what's going on, everyone? Sergeant Erger right here, and today we are reacting to Napoleon Part 3, The Decline by Geo History. Also, a quick note, I just want to say, like, I'm sorry, guys. The reason why I haven't been uploading is I started a new job for the first time, so that's been eating up a lot of my time. And with school, I've had to focus on that with the remainder of my time. So there's been very little time. So I'm really sorry, guys. I'm gonna try to upload as much as I can. And there will never be that huge gap again. That was my mistake. Obviously there's all these other factors, but at the end of the day, it's still my fault because I can still upload. So anyways, let's get started, guys. Oops, I didn't do that.
Napoleon controls almost the entire European continent.
Whoa.
Having defeated Prussia and Austria, he tries hard to dominate Spain. In the West, the United Kingdom has always been his biggest opponent. The island is well defended by its powerful Royal Navy. The country sends an army to Portugal, which, with the help of local forces, chases away the French. They now threaten to take over Spain. To the east, Russia and France see a gradual weakening in their relationship, although they are officially allied. Russia has never backed Napoleon in his wars and now refuses to implement the continental bloc.
What is that little area where my mouse is? Who controls that? I'm so confused.
Blockade imposed by Napoleon on the UK.
Is that part of the Confederation? No. I'm so confused.
Having had enough, Napoleon plans to invade Russia. He gathers more than 650,000 soldiers from all over Europe and signs alliances with Prussia and Austria.
Dang.
Meanwhile, Russia signs a peace treaty with the Ottoman Empire and prepares its troops at the border. Napoleon hopes for a blitz and an easy victory that would force the Tsar to negotiate peace. His army crosses the Niemen River towards the Russian armies. Its south wing is constituted of an Austrian contingent and its north wing by Prussia. But the Russian armies largely outnumber.
Why would Prussia and Austria help France though? Were they forced into doing it or something?
Avoid engaging in battle and retreat deep into the land. Napoleon then accelerates the pace and tries to catch up. His supply lines are stretched quickly, requiring excellent organization by many men. The Russians deploy the scorched earth tactic, burning down everything in their path while retreating. Many soldiers die of exhaustion along the way. Finally reaching the gates of Moscow, Napoleon and his 130,000 remaining soldiers go face to face with 120,000 Russians. The battle proves to be a bloody affair, which France wins with great difficulty.
Retreat from Russia.
Napoleon and his 100,000 men enter Moscow, which was evacuated. A week later, Russian soldiers set fire to the city. During 5 weeks, Napoleon tries to negotiate peace with the...
Oh yeah, fun fact, I know Moscow is the capital of Russia now, but back then it was actually St. Petersburg. But even then, Moscow was still a really important city to Russia. So yeah.
But receives no response. Eventually, as winter is coming, Napoleon is forced to retreat.
Yeah.
Along the way, the troops at the back of his force...
Wait, another fun fact, the summer actually did a lot more damage to them than the winter, because the conditions were awful, and plus the mud. And the heat exhaustion, all that other stuff, that was way worse than the winter ever was. But yeah. I'm saying that because, everyone is always oh, it's the winter. Shut up. No, it was the summer, mostly, and then the winter. It's dumb, okay? I don't like it.
Formation are subject to constant attack.
Anyways.
Further west, 2 Russian armies prepare to block his retreat.
Ooh.
Napoleon understands that he must hurry if he does not want his army to be annihilated. His
basically.
troops, exhausted and starving, now suffer from the frost and snow. Horses die
Yeah.
of exhaustion and are eaten, while the artillery is abandoned. When they reach the Berezina River, a Russian army is stationed in front of the bridge to block them.
They're
Napoleon
screwed.
discreetly sends men further north to build two bridges. Eventually, while the French troops cross the river, the Russian battalion approaching from the north reaches them.
There's
Bridges
so
are
many.
burned to prevent the Russians from following them,
Oh.
condemning the fate of the remaining 10,000 French soldiers who could not cross on time.
Oh no.
Only a few tens of thousands of French soldiers managed to leave Russia, while
What?
Napoleon leaves alone for Paris.
They are so screwed right now.
Upon reaching Paris, Napoleon moves quickly to raise a new army. Meanwhile, the
good
Tsar,
luck.
despite being weakened by war, continues the offensive, knowing he has much to gain if he becomes the liberator of Europe. The Tsar moves diplomatically closer to Prussia, which considers the possibility of freeing the Confederation of the Rhine from Napoleon. This would render Prussia as the new influential power in the region. The King of Prussia discreetly prepares his armies. Austria chooses to be neutral for the moment, while the Confederation of the Rhine remains loyal to Napoleon. Once
Ooh.
the Russian army is at the gates of Berlin, Prussia declares war on France.
Poor Poland. They're surrounded.
Together,
Yeah, I remember, guys. Prussia and Austria, they've had time to, like, prepare and learn from their mistakes.
they leave for Saxony to fight what is left of Napoleon's great army. But the latter is joined by Napoleon's new army.
Oh, it's the Battle of Leipzig.
With a few victories, they
Never mind.
force Prussia and Russia to seek a truce.
Oh, wait, what?
Meanwhile, in the Iberian Peninsula, Wellington's army,
Oh.
along with the Portuguese and Spanish forces, seizes Madrid and is preparing to expel the French from the country. During the truce,
Fall of
while
the
the
empire.
armies are reinforced
Oh
on
my
both
gosh.
sides, the battle plays out on the diplomatic level. Sweden joins the coalition, while Austria offers
Oh.
mediation to Napoleon.
Another fun fact, the King of Sweden at the time was actually a former marshal under Napoleon in France. So that's interesting.
Austria suggests to restore the so-called natural frontiers of France in exchange for peace. But Napoleon does not take up the offer, and
He's so
Austria
dumb.
exchange
That would have been perfectly fine. Look at that. You have the entire Rhine, you have that. That's so good.
for peace. But Napoleon does not take up the offer, and Austria joins the coalition. The truce is broken, causing the three great armies to march on to the Confederation of the Rhine. Their advance forces Napoleon to play the defensive card. He retreats to Leipzig, where a decisive battle involving 500,000 men takes place. During 3 days, the French and their
That's a lot
allies
of men.
resist the offensive, but besieged on 3 fronts, they finally must retreat. During battle, the only functioning bridge is destroyed too early, condemning a third of the French army.
A third?
Napoleon crosses the Rhine with only 70,000 men, while the Confederation of the Rhine
You're so screwed.
joins the coalition. Meanwhile, in Spain, the French army, chased by Wellington,
Ow.
is pushed back to the borders. France is besieged from all sides.
Oh my
The
god,
French
that's a lot
armies,
of troops.
completely outnumbered, resist as well as they can the advance towards the country.
No,
But the coalition eventually enters Paris. Napoleon, who is in Fontainebleau, is forced to abdicate.
Treaty of Fontainebleau. Congress of Vienna.
Napoleon loses all powers. He is then forced by the coalition to go into exile with a few hundred men on the island of Elba, over which he has sovereignty. In France, the monarchy is restored and King Louis XVIII accedes to the throne. In Vienna, the victors meet for several months in order to redraw the new borders of the continent and try to establish a long-term peace plan for Europe. Representatives from small states are not given a voice in the negotiation. Big powers lead the union with the Tsar of Russia. Prussia becomes Congress Poland, in a personal union with the Tsar of Russia.
Oh no, Poland's gone. Oh no.
Prussia extends westwards, while the Confederation of the Rhine
Let's
becomes
go.
the German Confederation.
Prussia.
Austria recovers many lost territories, while old kingdoms are recreated in Italy. The United Kingdom of the Netherlands and Sweden-Norway are created. Finally, Switzerland's neutrality is recognized by all. Finally, Napoleon follows closely developments on the continent, especially in France. He knows that the return of the monarchy is little appreciated by the people. For one last time, he would decide to try and regain power. He secretly leaves for France.
100 days.
Napoleon lands near Cannes with a few hundred men.
Can? That looks like Canes. Oh my god, the French language is so weird. What is the point of these 3 unnecessary letters? Half of the entire word is unnecessary. That's when you know the French language is weird and...
On his way to Paris, he receives a hero's welcome in cities, while French troops also join him. When he reaches the capital, the king has already fled and Napoleon gets back power. But in Vienna, heads of state form a 7th coalition. Napoleon
It's like everyone in the entire world
prepares the country for war. In the Netherlands, an army under the Duke of Wellington's command
except for Andorra, that's nice of them.
is prepared, while in Prussia, Blücher's army goes to join him. In the east,
Oh wait, no, this is wrong. I thought, whatever that country is, Naples or... Yeah. See, the Kingdom of Two Sicilies or Naples, whatever the heck it's called. Because it has a... I don't know. I thought they joined France, right? At least at the beginning. Oh well.
east, an Austrian
It's wrong, so just know these people are helping France. That's their only ally.
army is waiting to be joined by the Russian army, which would arrive several months later.
Ew.
Napoleon decides to make the first move. If he can prevent the armies of Wellington and Blücher from joining forces, he may then also be successful in preventing the Austrian and Russian armies from doing the same. He leaves immediately with 125,000 men.
How'd you get that many troops ready so fast? Belgian campaign.
Upon arrival, the Prussian army finds itself stretched and disorganized, while the army of the Duke of Wellington, consisting of soldiers from Britain, the Netherlands and German states, is positioned near Brussels. Napoleon just about manages to prevent both armies from joining forces and pushes them both further north. An army of 30,000 men chases the Prussian troops, while Napoleon advances towards Wellington, who has positioned himself on a ridge near Waterloo. The next day, the French army, which is reaching Wavre, sees most of the Prussian army leaving westwards and decides not to chase them, instead preferring to attack the garrisons left behind in the city.
Why? Their strategic objective is to split them, not take that.
On the Western Front, Napoleon and Wellington engage in fierce battle. In the afternoon, as Napoleon seems to be winning, the first Prussians arrive from the east. Napoleon has no choice but to send some of his men on the Eastern Front, which leads to his defeat.
Yeah, there were so many mistakes in Waterloo. Even if he won, he wouldn't have won the war at all.
Napoleon goes back to Paris and tries for the last time to form an army, but the government refuses. He then leaves incognito to Rochefort, where he hopes to board a ship for the United States. But British soldiers are checking the port. After wandering for several days, Napoleon soldiers are checking the port to board a ship for the United States.
That would have been so cool if Napoleon went to the United States.
But British soldiers are checking the port. After wandering for several days, Napoleon, aware he's a wanted man, tries
There's like a million ports. Why can't he just go to a different port?
his luck and asks the British to take him to the United States. but instead they take him to the island of St. Helena, which would become Napoleon's last prison. Isolated and closely surveyed in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, he would no longer be able to influence anyone anymore. He writes his memoirs, eventually falls sick, dies on May 5th, 1821, and is buried in the island. In
That is sad.
1840, his remains are unearthed and brought back to the Invalides in Paris. To this day,
Jeez.
it serves as Napoleon's tomb.
Wow, well, there we have it, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Well, everyone, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it and subscribe to my channel. And, turn on the notification bell thingy. And if you didn't, then make sure to leave a thumbs down. Oh yeah, that would be greatly appreciated. And while you're at it, go ahead and watch my other videos. They're probably just as good, and if not better than this one right now. Except for my oldest videos, don't watch those. And, subscribe to these people down here, my fellow sergeants. They're other YouTubers that I either know or I have in high regards. Yeah, even my cat agrees. So, thank you for watching, and have a great day.